Airstream song, cruising to the campsite singing our song. Airstream song, we are the Airstream nerds.
Hi folks, Jeff from Airstream Nerds. ASAElectronics, who is the manufacturer of the Voyager wireless camera system for our campers, caught wind of our previous review on the system I bought last year for our camper. And they offered up the latest version of their camera and monitor system, the WVOS43, and I took them up on their offer. So received it the other day, haven't opened the box yet. Wanted to wait till we could film it and show you guys. So here we go. Now I was told that the camera that came with it is identical to the one behind that we've already got installed. So, and they did tell me that I would not need to replace the camera. But anyway, so here's the camera. Model number's on the side. It's way too small for me to see. Maybe the camera can get it. It is the identical model number to the existing camera. That I confirmed. There is the infrared sensor, so you can have some night vision. It is a wide-angle camera. From the looks of it, since we had that system installed, I haven't really got to see the camera. The antenna just screws on like any antenna would. They have a grommet, so when you drill the hole into the metal, it will seal it, and then you obviously use a caulk or sealer of some kind on the outside. This grommet slides up and down, so you can adjust the length of the lead is for what you need. There is a quick connect type connector that you just pop on and pop off. Feels like it's a good seal. It's probably a weatherproof type connector. So I guess if this is outside of the vehicle, then you don't have to worry about it. They've already put the connectors on it. From the looks of things, these probably have in here another connector, or they might be just crimp connectors. They look like they might be crimp connectors. All the different screws and the hardware to mount it, the bracket to put on the camera. So the camera looks pretty good, manual. It is a digital color. I guess it's got the IR LED, it's waterproof, wide angle. It's got the microphone built into it. The manual is the same manual I have for my other camera. You know, they go through all the pieces and parts, and if you don't speak English, which you probably at this point can't understand what I'm saying anyway, they have it in a bunch of different language. ASAElectronics, they're the manufacturer, there's their website. But the big change, they said, is the monitor. Now, as you guys know, the original monitor is this great big beast of a monitor. Works great, image quality is great, as you can see from our other video. So I'm very interested in to see what the new monitor looks like. This new monitor comes with power cable, looks like it plugs in. Some sort of fuse holder. Oh, the mount's different. We'll get to that in a second. So here we go. Okay, so as you can see, huge difference in the size of the monitor. This I could actually keep stored in my truck. This one's kind of big to put in the console and still have room for anything else. Looks like we plug right into the side of it for your power. I'm not sure what the other plug is for. We'll figure that out in a minute. The mount looks like the kind that you'd have for your phone or something like that. So it's a ball mount type connection, which is great because this will go with any of your stock ball type mounts. So you don't have to use the suction cup. You could get a Pro Clips type mount or some of the other brands out there in order to make some sort of permanent connection, which I'm probably going to look into doing. Anyway, screws back together. The monitor here has an antenna, just like the other monitor. There's the information on it. So as you can see, it's a big difference between the two screens. This thing's much bigger, much bulkier. This thing's pretty nice. You can take it off of the mount and hold it in your hand. I mean, it's for comparison's sake, this is my iPhone 6 Plus. Pretty thin. I mean, this is a pretty good size. When you first turn on the monitor here and you hit the power button, you end up with this message here. Now, what you want to do is you have your camper hooked up, have your when they hooked up the power to the camera on the back of my Airstream, it is connected to the lights. So in order for the camera to be on, the lights have to be on. So when I drive down the road, I always have to keep my lights on, which I do anyway, so it works out fine. But in order to apply it, you hook up your camper, hook up the power just like you would, you know, when you're driving, you're towing it. Right now, we don't have it hooked up to the hitch. We just have the power hooked up to it. And make sure your lights are off. Then hold down the pairing button for 5 seconds, like it says on the front. It goes into pairing mode, and you've got 50 seconds essentially to turn on your lights. So I turn on my parking lights, which turns on the lights of the camper. It's on. As you can see, the image is really good. The image, to me, the image is, it's actually better than the other camera. It's obviously smaller. You can see that the two screens are much different in size. But when I'm using my reverse camera when I'm driving down the road, I'm not really looking to be able to read license plates. I just want to be able to judge distance, see what I'm looking at. And from my driving position here, I can see everything just fine. I can tell when there's a vehicle out there. Now what I'm going to do next is I'm going to walk back behind the camper so you can hear the audio quality. I'm also going to describe where I'm standing in relation to the camera and so on and so forth. So be right back. So as you can see, they mounted my camera right there above the Airstream. It's the same as the new camera that comes in this kit. So if you do have this kit already, you'll be able to buy this updated monitor for your cab and not have to replace the camera as well. As you can see in the camera, which we'll show in a little bit, the camera at that angle sits essentially, you can see the back bumper, and it can also see from side to side. It does have one-way audio, so if you're up in the cab and you have your co-pilot with you, your wife or your husband, depending on who's the driver, you can hear them tell you to stop, 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 even though you can see that you're almost hitting whatever you're hitting because you have a camera. Anyway, so let's go up in the front and see what it sounds like, and I'm going to stay back here and we're going to get a little overview of your view behind the camera here. As you can see, we have a 25-foot Airstream. I have a 2013 Ford Raptor. I don't know the exact dimensions, the lengths. I think the camper's like 26 foot. The truck is probably, I don't know, 18 foot long. Now I had the previous monitor hooked up. We've taken a lot of trips with it. I've had absolutely no issues with the video. I haven't had any video pop in and out, no stutter, no lines through it, no distortion. I turn the audio off driving down the road because otherwise I hear every crunch in every car that's driving by and everything like that. It is a high quality signal the whole entire time, like what we saw in the cab a minute ago. It looks like that the entire drive down the road. And you'll see in a moment that you get a good view of the vehicles next to you. You can see the cars on either lane, on either side of you as they approach, or even in traffic, when you're clear, which, if you're like me and you haven't been doing this for 20 years, it's nice to be able to judge that distance without having to judge that distance. Anyway, so let's get in the cab and let's see what it looks like from in there.
So as you can see, I'm about, I'll say 6 foot back right now. Standing here against my fence, 6 foot back. I'm in the center of the camper. You should be able to hear me, you should be able to see me. As you can see down here, this is the edge of your bumper, so you can pretty much see when you're backing up. You can back up within. You can back up and touch. Come within a quarter of an inch if you want to. The side of the camper. If I'm standing 6 foot back and right here, this is the side of the camper. So when you have a vehicle coming over here, you can see the vehicle's front end. You know they're in the lane next to you, and you know when they're not in the lane next to you. You have the right mirrors on your towing vehicle. You'll be able to see any blind spots along the side there. But the most important part is the back here. So being able to change lanes and know you're not running over the hood of the car in front. Now on the other side, it's the same thing essentially. I'm at the edge of the camper right now. You should be able to see the vehicles over here. If you can't see my head, you definitely can see my bumper, my legs. So if I was a vehicle, you should be able to see all the way down to the ground, and you can tell that there's a vehicle here. Now again, I'm 6 foot back from the bumper. You can actually see farther back from the bumper. I don't remember exactly how far back you can see, but now I'm probably 12 foot back. I am even with the side. I'm not sure how far back you can see me. Maybe Tyler, when I get on this side, then thumbs up and thumbs down. He's in the cab with the camera. But I'm back here. You can hear the cars coming. You can see the cars coming. This camera system really is cool. It's probably the coolest the electronic gadget that I have. And I'm a fan of electronic gadgets. So anyway, this is Jeff from Airstream Nerds. Give it a thumbs up to the new Voyager camera system.